we are again. Once again, we've had a tragedy in this country, and no amount of myself or reasonable people telling the public this is a mental health issue when this young man was obviously disturbed, and no one can say he wasn't disturbed. His local police department knew he was disturbed. His school knew he was disturbed. The other two schools he got expelled from knew he was disturbed. The family he was staying with knew something wasn't right. His student body knew he wasn't right. The FBI knew something wasn't right. All these people have said this young man was troubled and disturbed, yet when I say that the Florida school shooter was mentally ill, you bunch of knuckleheads insist it's the gun. Again. Let me explain to you how the dynamics of this situation. I have an assault weapon in my safe right now. It's never shot anyone. It's never harmed anyone. It's not going to, because I have control over it, and this is the thing that makes that assault weapon, by your terms, dangerous. Trigger finger. Me. This thing is what does that. It doesn't jump about the safe and start hurting people all by itself. It will not, because I am not mentally ill. And contrary to all of the insanity I'm hearing on social media, I'm not mentally insane for having a semi-automatic rifle. So let's correct a few misconceptions. First and foremost, I refuse to have a debate about assault weapons with a person who's never actually held one, shot one, or used one, period. I refuse. If you haven't enlisted in the military, you don't have an NFA tax stamp, and you haven't spent 15 to 20 grand on your AR, you don't know what an assault weapon is. You're an idiot. You don't know. I do. I enlisted at age 17. I spent a summer playing with belt-fed machine guns and fully automatic and burst fire, select fire ARs, M16A2s. I know what they are, and I know what they do. So if you don't have that resume, quite frankly, I don't want to hear what you have to say about assault rifles, because you don't know what they are. You don't know what they look like. You've never held one before. So shut up. That's one. Two, contrary to what y'all have heard, the Second Amendment does say what it says. It's always said what it says. It's always given we, the public, the inalienable right to keep and bear arms. Even the scary black ones. Even the ones that are magazine fed. Even the semi-automatic ones. Period in discussion. Get over yourselves. For those of you that have finally abandoned the pretense that you want reasonable gun laws, and now you're finally saying, oh, we just need to repeal the Second Amendment, I applaud your honesty. You're stupid. But I applaud your honesty, at least. You're finally being honest with us that you don't want reasonable and you don't want compromise. You just want all the guns gone. And you don't care about the consequences of them. But the problem I have is that you will not be the ones to enforce it. All of you screaming children, and this applies equally to adults and to this movement where these high school kids are now screaming that we need to change our gun laws. You screaming, mewling, crying children will not be the ones to kick doors in and take those weapons from people. But you will happily scream and yell and pitch a fit and have a tantrum until other people enforce your will. And if, by some complete lapse of judgment and sanity, it was actually attempted in this country, there would be blood in the streets, because there are people out there who believe the government does not have the right to take these things from us, and we're not willing to give them up. So the only option left is for the government to either back off, which I hope they would do, or come to the homes of otherwise peaceful, law-abiding citizens and take their property by force at gunpoint, and people would be killed in the process. And if you don't care about those people getting killed, then I'm not the unreasonable one and I'm not the mentally insane one. You are. So, call this my wake-up call to anti-gunners. I don't care anymore to have a conversation with you. I don't care to entertain you. I don't care to debate with you because you people are insane. No matter how many statistics I quote, no matter how much history I quote, no matter what I say, you will not change your point of view, and that's fine at this point. This is not a call out to anti-gunners, because you bunch of idiots won't listen to anything I have to say anyway. This is a call out to the gun-owning public of this country. I don't care if you're a hunter or a sportsman. I don't care if you have ARs or bolt-action rifles. I don't care if you think bump stocks are evil or silencers are scary. I don't care anymore. It is time for all of us to stop fighting with each other and start fighting the other side. Because once they get done going after assault weapons, they will come for your scary-ass sniper rifles. All of you that hunt, all of you that have a bolt action with a scope on them, yeah, it's going to be a sniper rifle in about 10 years. And they're going to come for those too. And then they're going to go after shotguns, and then pistols, and then the rim fires. And then once they've taken everything you have, they're going to be going after your kid's Red Ryder BB gun, because this doesn't end. There's no end to this. There's no one thing these people want other than the complete disarmament of our country, of our civilian population. And until they get their way, they won't stop. So there is no end game to this, except for us to bend the knee and give up, or stop fighting with each other and start fighting against them. And I would love to see more people take the stance I have, that I am not bending any longer. I am not giving up. I'm not turning them in. I'm not registering them. I'm done. I've been reasonable. I have abided by your NICS checks, even though I think it's a bit hysterical that me not having committed a crime, I have to prove to you that I haven't committed a crime in order to have a firearm. There's no presumption of innocence before guilt with firearm owners. We have to convince you that we aren't a threat in order to do what we want to do. You can't hold somebody accountable for the things they haven't done yet. It's just not reasonable. It's a complete abortion of our legal system to assume that. And yet, if you want a silencer, it's automatically assumed you have to go get your permission slip from the government to have that thing. If you want to go get a firearm, you have to go submit yourself to a background investigation. It's a NICS check. It's supposed to be instant, but it's still a background check. I'm done. I'm done being reasonable. Y'all have pushed too far, too many times, and I'm done being reasonable. So now, this is me being unreasonable. I refuse to bend. It's time for y'all to bend and back off. Or the consequences are going to be the complete disintegration of our country. So, if the potential to see your country torn apart and hundreds of thousands of people die as a result of you picking this fight, if that doesn't give you some pause, I'm not the crazy one, y'all are. So, share this around. Maybe I'll get booted off of YouTube for it. At this point, I don't care. As of the last 24 hours, both Hank Strange and Military Arms Channel are gone. Hickok 45 has been screwed with. It's only a matter of time before the gun channels get knocked off of YouTube. It's only a matter of time before they start coming after me on Facebook. It's only a matter of time. It's time to stop screwing around and start fighting. Because, quite frankly, everybody, the anti-gunners, they're coming for us. And they're coming for us whether you want to get in the fight or not. So if you want to sit back in your hunting blind with your bolt action and say nobody needs an AR, that's fine. I don't need you. I'll fight this fight by myself. But I'm ready to fight. I'll fight with words, and I'll fight with rationality, and I'll fight with reason first. But I'm prepared to fight. And I am done bending, and I'm done being reasonable. I demand that the Second Amendment be respected as the inalienable right that it is, to the same degree that we hold and cherish all of our other rights so near and dear to our hearts. It is time to respect that right. And you don't have to agree with it, but it is the law of the land, like it or not.